The Los Angeles Chargers had a strong regular season. However, their trip to the postseason was short-lived when they were hammered by the Houston Texans in the wildcard round, unveiling Los Angeles' rather significant roster needs, especially offensively. The Chargers' struggles this season were painfully evident in one key area: their pass catcher. Daniel Popper of The Athletic pointed out that one player in particular faced serious exposure during the loss to the Texans: tight end Will Dissly. So let's take a closer look at Will Dissly's performance this season, how the other tight ends fared, and what options the Chargers might explore heading into the 2025 season. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. First, have a look at what Popper says. Will Dissly had a solid season, but his limitations as a pass catcher were exposed in the playoffs. The Chargers need a playmaking tight end in the passing game. Dissly caught a solid 50 passes for 481 yards and a couple of touchdowns during the regular season, registering a catch rate of 78.1%. However, he had multiple drops in the playoff defeat, demonstrating that he really isn't a number 1 caliber tight end in a truly elite offense. Will Dissly ranked 21st among all tight ends for receiving yards this season, highlighting just how much of an issue this position has been for the Chargers. The problem is that, aside from Dissly, no other tight end performed well, and even Dissly's performance has been underwhelming in our opinion. If I talk about the other tight ends, none of them even managed to cross the 100-yard mark. The Chargers have had to rely on wide receivers. Among the wide receivers, we have 3 players who have delivered solid performances. Rookie Ladd McConkey, who leads with 1,149 yards and 7 touchdowns, followed by Quentin Johnston with 711 yards and 8 touchdowns, and then Josh Palmer with 584 yards and 1 touchdown. However, the problem is that a wide receiver is not the solution for the tight end position, so adding a better tight end would go a long way in making Justin Herbert's job easier next season. The problem is that the free agent market is very thin at the position, which may force the Chargers to seek a trade or punt to the NFL draft. So the top 2 names to watch in this class are Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland, both of whom bring unique skill sets to the table. Let's start with Tyler Warren, who stands out as the more polished and perhaps less attainable option for the Chargers. Tight ends can be unpredictable in the draft. They're not always picked as high as you'd expect. The last time 2 tight ends went in the first round was back in 2019, TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant. So this position can be tough to project. That said, Warren has the kind of elite skill set that makes him a strong candidate for the first round. At 6 feet 6 inches and roughly 260 pounds, he's exactly what you want in a modern NFL tight end. He's got an imposing frame, a massive catch radius, and excellent hands, making him a quarterback's best friend. His route running is sharp, and his versatility is a major asset. Whether lined up in the slot, in the backfield, split out wide, or even taking direct snaps in the Wildcat, Warren proved he could excel in multiple roles. His senior year at Penn State was nothing short of remarkable. Warren racked up 104 receptions for 1,233 yards and 8 touchdowns, becoming the focal point of a powerhouse offense. For context, those numbers rival or surpass what we've seen from other top tight end prospects like Kyle Pitts or Brock Bowers. Warren's ability to take over a game and consistently produce against top competition makes him an exciting prospect. For the Chargers, Warren checks all the boxes. Adding a player of his caliber would give Justin Herbert a true playmaker, a guy who can command attention in the passing game and create mismatches all over the field. He has the potential to be the focal point of an NFL offense, just as he was for Penn State. However, whether he falls to the Chargers at 22 remains a big question. While some mock drafts have him slipping, the demand for a player with his skill set might push him into the top 15. That said, the Chargers have to keep an eye on how the draft board unfolds. Warren would be a game changer for this offense, giving Herbert the kind of elite target who could redefine the team's passing attack. Tyler Warren would be an easy pick for the Chargers at 22, especially considering his versatility. This guy truly does it all: tight end, H-back, fullback, running back, even wildcat quarterback. He's lined up at quarterback on 4th down and pulled off a pooch punt. Yes, he's even been a punter. That kind of positional flexibility is rare and invaluable in the NFL. Statistically, Warren is just as impressive. A 2.8% drop rate per Pro Football Focus speaks to his reliability, and his contested catch rate of 61.9% is equally remarkable. He's not just a solid receiver, he's someone who can stretch his catch radius, make those tough highlight reel catches, and be a serious threat in the red zone. While his blocking might need a bit more consistency, he has the size, physicality, and attitude to develop into a solid contributor in the run game. Now, shifting the focus to Colston Loveland, the other top prospect tied to the Chargers, he might actually be the more realistic option between the two. Loveland's numbers dipped this past season due to a weaker quarterback situation, but his overall skill set has only improved. He's a fluid athlete with long strides that help him separate downfield, making him a more natural route runner compared to Warren. Loveland has a lot going for him: a 3.4% drop rate, the ability to make catches outside his frame, and a knack for securing tough passes. He's a dynamic player who could significantly elevate the Chargers' offense by providing a reliable one-on-one target. Despite being slimmer than Warren at 6 feet 4 inches and around 245 pounds, Loveland brings agility and excellent body control, which make him effective in contested situations and after the catch. As a blocker, Loveland shows strong effort and solid technique, even though his size might limit him against bigger defenders. What stands out is his ability to contribute to the quick passing game, especially at the second level. He's adept at taking out defensive backs and making key blocks that the Chargers have been missing in recent years. While he might not dominate edge rushers the way Warren can, he's still a valuable asset in both the passing and running game. If the Chargers were to land Loveland, they'd be getting a player who could fit seamlessly into their offense while adding versatility and reliability. He's exactly the type of player who can create mismatches and improve the team's efficiency in critical situations. Whether it's taking on defensive backs in space or running crisp routes to open up the field, Loveland has the tools to make an impact at the next level. Either Warren or Loveland would bring something special to this Chargers team, but there's more to discuss, including the defensive side of the ball. One player who needs to take a significant step forward is Junior Colson, a potential starting linebacker for 2025. Can he make that leap? We'll dive into that next. It's important to note that the Chargers' focus isn't solely on the tight end position. Another area they need to address is the linebackers, especially considering the potential departure of Asante Samuel Jr. in free agency. Cornerback is an underrated need for the Chargers, and with Christian Fulton losing his starting spot late in the season, the depth at the position becomes a concern. If a high-caliber prospect like Will Johnson were to fall to them in the draft, it could be a wise move to invest in that area. The Chargers do have two young corners from the 2024 draft, Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart, who have shown promise. Dean Leonard also flashed potential, though his opportunities have been limited. However, the same can't be said for Jacer Taylor, who looks more like a special teams-only player at this point. Adding another top-tier cornerback to the mix could solidify the secondary and provide insurance for the future. So overall, the Chargers need to remain flexible with their draft strategy, ensuring they don't lock themselves into one specific position. The draft board rarely unfolds as expected, and being adaptable could lead them to land a high-impact player who addresses one of their less obvious needs. The Chargers face a number of tough decisions this offseason, starting with their approach to Joey Bosa's contract. His $36 million cap hit is a massive figure, and when you pair that with his underwhelming 5-sack season, it's hard to justify keeping him at that price. While he managed to stay on the field for much of the season, a rarity for him, it was clear that he wasn't playing at full strength. His performance never reached the elite level expected, and even when available, he didn't look like the dominant pass rusher we've seen in the past. If the team is also losing Khalil Mack, the idea of letting both of their top pass rushers walk in the same offseason seems daunting. However, it's equally difficult to ignore the cap space that moving on from Bosa would free up. That $25 million in savings could be reinvested in other areas of the roster that need serious help. With the team already facing significant flaws, particularly highlighted during the playoffs, spreading those resources across multiple positions could yield a more balanced and effective squad. There's always a chance the Chargers could explore restructuring Bosa's deal to lower the cap hit, but that scenario feels unlikely. Based on the decisions this regime has made so far, it's clear they prioritize smart financial planning and don't shy away from making tough roster. Cutting ties with Bosa, despite the emotional connection and what he's meant to the franchise, might simply be the best football decision moving forward. So we've seen the Chargers have a lot of decisions to make this offseason, with both the tight end and linebacker positions needing immediate attention. But here's a question for you. Which position do you think is most urgent for the team to address first in the 2025 season? The tight end position, the linebackers, or maybe even the secondary? Let me know in the comments below.